Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for the introduction. I'm going to spend the next 50 minutes talking about iOS 13. And yes, my name is Jere Minich, and my mother spelled it that way, Jere. Thank you, Mom. iOS 13 came out about 6 weeks ago. And it's the biggest change that I've seen Apple put out in a long time. I am surprised at how many items they dealt with and changed for iOS 13. And as you can see by my view graph, their main features are dark mode, photo apps, sign in with Apple, new reminders, look around in maps, those kind of things, and the list goes on and on and on. The fact of the matter is there's close to 200 changes that Apple made to the existing iOS when they put out 13. And of course, since they put out 13, they've come out with some small iterations to fix problems. And the latest as of today is 13.2, and that might change very rapidly. I have one site that I use because it's very good, in my opinion, that has 56 different how-to, and the how-tos include screenshots, and it's a great site. I'm going to give you that information. And here's what some of the how-tos on that Mac Rumors web page look like. And of course, if you want to go there and take a look at all 56, fine and dandy. Now, if you go on the internet to find out some information about iOS 13, be careful of the date in which the information was put out. There are some entries in the internet where people were talking about iOS 13 back in June and July, and some of the information they put out has been changed or is not correct based on what Apple decided to do when they finally put it out on the 19th of September. The bit.ly that you see at the bottom of this page is the same thing as what you see in the bold for Mac Rumors right above it. Either one of them take you to the page, and you got to scroll down quite a ways to get to the 56 how-tos. Or you can just use this page when you bring it up on your computer, and you can point to the how-to or the link that you want to and control click or some other way, and it'll take you right to the correct page to look up the how-tos. What I'm going to cover out of the significant number of changes are these items right here, and I want to caution you or preempt you with the information about dark mode. When I made this presentation up just a couple days ago and finished it up, there was an awful lot of information on the internet, and a lot of the displays were in dark mode. So be aware that some of the displays I give in my presentation will also be in dark mode. I switched both my phone, iPhone 8 Plus, and my iPad Air over to dark mode, and I'm trying to get used to it. I like it, but it takes some getting used to based on the fact that they've never had it before. And this is how you get to dark mode. Settings, display, and brightness, and then switch from light mode to dark mode. And this is shown on a phone, but the same thing is done when you do it on an iPad. Find My. Apple has now combined Find My iPhone and Find My Friend's app into one app. And in that list of 56, there's quite a few how-tos on using the Find My app. And they're listed here for your convenience. But let's look at it. Yes, this is what happened. Find iPhone, Find iFriends have been combined, and when they did it, they also location for both of those using Find My every minute or so. So if your friends or your iDevice is moving, you can tell that. I find that very convenient. When you need to use Find My, you have to do some setup. And here again are some how-to apps on getting yourself started with Find My app that's on your iPhone, iPad. And the Find My app has this brand new icon. Each tab features a familiar app so that you can see in relationship to where you are, where the friend or device is. And of course, you can select particular people or devices to look for. If you are looking for the Find My app on your device, swipe left to right from the home screen, go into the search bar. At the top of the screen, type in Find My, or if you have Siri, you can always say, Siri, Find My app, and open it. Photo app. Apple did a lot of changes in the photo app, and some of them are good and some of them are confusing when you first go in. I certainly was confused, but I'm getting used to that also. The tabs have been overhauled. There's new options. You can look at your pictures in different day, month, and year views. You can see your photos displayed in a tile view, and best images are displayed as large squares. And I'm a little bit confused about how the software picks the best images, but that's what Apple put out as tiled view, best images. So it's different when you go to look at your photos. Just the other day, I took a picture and I knew that it went into my photos, and I had a little trouble finding it until I could get used to the new displays that they have associated with the app. Here we're looking at Days View, two different Days View displays here. As you can see, I have a red circle around days. And so you can get this kind of information and then pick the picture that you want to see. and they're organized by each day. If you go into the months view, you get a different display, a slightly different display. And here you're looking at the month and the pictures that you took during the month. And you can scroll up and down and see those categories of pictures. And the same thing for years. And of course, if you want to look at the current year, that's fine and dandy. If you want to see pictures that you took a year ago from the date that you are now, you can scroll up or down through those also. And if you tap the older year, you'll see more photos around the same time of year that you are now. In all those selections, Apple highlights certain different titles, and you now know where those photos were taken, and it helps you find what you're looking for. For You is another category of pictures that you can see, and it shows carefully chosen and thoughtfully organized or presented photos. Okay, I don't know how Apple, again, determines that, but that's the word they use to describe what For You is all about. And they're organized around a specific date and content, and you can go back and revisit those wonderful times you were having at the beach or in the mountains or on a trip somewhere. Now, if you're into editing photos, again, Apple's made it a little bit easier. When you first open a photo to adjust it, you're going to be in the automatic mode, but then now you can scroll through the editing tools very easily and make adjustments more easily, more user-friendly, whatever that means. User-friendly, So anyway, it's a new way to edit your photo that you're looking at, and I haven't used it yet, but they say it's wonderful. Camera app. The camera app has been changed so that you can get a better intensity of light in the portrait mode. They have a new high key mono, which gives you some fantastic pictures if that's what you're looking for. You can change the aspect ratio of the pictures in the camera app. And if you have an iPhone 11, you can also change the resolution or the rate of video recording. One of the things I'm concerned about when I take photos is what kind of metadata is associated with a photo. And so now Apple has given you a very easy way to strip the information off the photos that might in fact not be good when you put that photo on the internet. The steps are listed here. Very simply done. Reminders app. Apple did a big job on retooling the Reminders app. You got a toolbar. Siri can help you with reminders. You can attach photos, documents, web links to reminders. You can get more information typed into the reminder. And when you're chatting with somebody in iMessages, Siri is going to recognize a possible reminder and then make a suggestion to you to add that to your reminders app on your device. They've also readjusted the subtasks, and so now you can do a little drag and drop here and there. You can list different groups together, so you're not spending a lot of time looking for a certain reminder. You can see reminders that are for today or sometime in the near future. You can flag reminders as important, and all of this stuff is in one place now. A reminder will surface when you're chatting with that person in iMessages again. And of course, you can customize the way that your reminder list looks with 12 beautiful colors and 60 expressive symbols. That's got to be exciting. And here's what reminders looks like. It's a new interface, likened to a dashboard. You have smarter lists and groups and reminders, and it's easy to add one. All you do is a tap and you're ready to go. Another look at 4 different screens for reminders, and as you can see in the second screen from the left, you've got these different colors, so you can color code your reminders to help you put them in your mind correctly. And the last 2 on the right hand side, reminders about going to the dentist and then getting in the car. The reminder picks up the fact that you're actually moving and getting into the car and moving down the highway. Health app. A lot of changes and improvements in the health app. And that's because this is becoming important for many older Americans. So you can put data in there. You can list historical averages and more. If you have a profile page with your medical facilities, you can pull that information up on your computer and you can put it into your iPad, iPhone. If you have a hearing problem, you can track your hearing tests and take a look at them to see if you're progressively getting better or worse. And a lot of things are being done to analyze and put into contextual value so that you can track your health with your iPhone, iPad. I'm starting to use the health app on my iPhone and iPad, and I find it easy to understand and helpful. There's a summary view of the health app on the left-hand side, and a summary view or edit view of the health app on the right-hand side. 2 displays to give you an idea of the things that you can do with the health app to track your activity and your health. I'm going to give you a second to take a look at that. Additionally, in a summary health app, you can see what your workouts were and how they compared to what you were doing yesterday or last week, and also some summaries about how many steps you took over 7 days versus what you were doing in the last 7 days. And again, this information is available to you to help you get to the right spot in your health and your activities. Lots of charts, lots of comparisons. And finally, gee, we got some non-dark mode displays, and that's basically why I'm showing them, and you can see the difference. Exercise minutes, and there's a way to customize all this so you can see what you want to see. Yes, the health app also takes care of reminding you when the noise is too loud so that you can do something about it. And sometimes we forget, oh, gee, we need to turn that down. So you can go into your iPhone now, if you're using your iPhone for music, and you can set a volume limit so that it doesn't all of a sudden blast into your ear. And use the volume limit so that you have a better idea of not destroying your hearing. And if you take a look at the trends that are coming up in the headphone, monitoring hearing, etc., you might be able to see a time when, gee, I got to go see the doctor again and get my hearing checked. If you have an Apple Watch and it's running 06, it'll warn you about sounds around you, and it'll give you a tap on your wrist. And you also get a notification in your health summary of the health app. And here's 3 shots of the hearing app, and when the sound is too loud, and environmental sound levels, and also audio sound levels from your headphones. $88 dB. And you can also get a readout of the noise level over time, and that can be for the last hour, week, month, and year, or even a day or so. Voice control accessibility option. And of course, if you're going to use this, you need iOS 13. Just a reminder. But now you can control your device with voice control, and it's activated in the accessibilities option. In order to use voice control on your iPad or your iPhone, you need to download a file. And once the download is complete, then you no longer need Wi-Fi to do voice control. Now, what that really means is when you're doing voice control of your device, Apple is not getting that information, and they're not stockpiling it somewhere, which means data about you. So, yeah, you need to be connected to Wi-Fi before turning on voice control for the first time. Once you do the download, voice control, and you are private. And what can you do with voice control? You can do you can do with voice control what you normally do with your finger or your stylus. You can say, with voice control on, swipe down, long press clocks, as an example. Now, voice control doesn't change how the device responds to touch. It's just taking the place of touch. And if you don't know what commands are available, you can say, show me what to say. And you can get a full list of the available commands that they have right now by going to Settings, Accessibility, Voice Control, Customize Commands. And all indications are that Apple will continue to develop this app and give you lots more customized commands. So here's what can I say looks like over on the left-hand side. And voice control can be very handy when you got both your hands full. In the middle, we have customized commands, and you can go into that. And as you can see on the extreme right-hand side, if you go into voice control, you can build a vocabulary. All right? You can teach voice control new words by adding vocabulary entries. Wow. That can be a lot of good stuff to control your device using your voice. You can turn voice control on or off by saying, "Hey Siri." Oops, my timer just responded because I said, "Hey Siri." I have my timer set so I don't go over time. Got to be careful. All right. To lock the device, in other words, go into a lock screen, you can say lock screen. To wake up the device, you can say, turn on voice control. To activate or to wake it up or to shut it off, you can again give those commands. Go to sleep, wake up, tap contacts, tap accessibilities. Now, even further, and I'm going to show you what this looks like in a next slide, you can also, using voice control, and say, show names, show numbers. Now, let's take a look at what that looks like when you say that. Over on the left-hand side, show numbers. Over on the right-hand side, show names. Now, to continue on, you could say, touch 6, tap stocks. Makes it easier. You can also say hide. You can also say repeat that. Example there. Swipe right. Repeat that 3 times, which now takes you over to your 4th home page, perhaps. And you can also say, go back. Go back. Now, to prevent voice control or Siri from responding, you can turn it off. You press and hold the side button on your device. To prevent it, that's for iPhone X, 10. iPhone 8, press and hold the home button. iPhone 10 or later, you can, that includes the 11s and what have you. And for iPhone 8 or earlier, again, the step to do it. This is so you can turn it off and have voice control stop responding to your voice. Now, voice control and Siri are different, okay? And you can use voice control and activate it by pressing the home button, but Siri has to be turned off. If you're using Siri, you cannot use voice control. You can make phone calls with voice control. But you have to be careful. When you're making a phone call using voice control, you have to say the name of the person you want to call just as it shows up in your contacts list. If you say call Uncle Bud, but in the contact list his name is Bud Jones, it's not going to work. All right? There has been some problems with different headsets and or earbuds activating Siri or classic voice control or not allowing you to use it when you're using a certain set of headphones or earbuds. So be careful. If you're having problems, try to do some simple troubleshooting, like replacing the headset with another one, or make sure that your device, your headset, earbuds is plugged in completely. Again, Siri and voice control are not the same thing. They're separate. Voice control is a set of features built in that exist before Siri came up. Siri has replaced some of those features. And if you are still confused about voice control and Siri, here's a reference in imore.com, and the bit.ly at the bottom of the page is the same as the website above it. Again, if you're going to make a phone call, you go, hey, call certain name, call Mom Mobile. Like my daughter, she's got 3 different phones, so I got to specify which one I want to work. I got about 14 minutes left. FaceTime and voice control can work together. And again, whoever you're calling on FaceTime, they have to have a compatible device. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Compatible device meaning an iPhone or iPad with iOS 13. Privacy and security. Apple has gone in and made some changes to the location app that works on your device and how you can control it a lot better now. And who gets to have access to your location. Specifically, an app, whether you want to give them permission to know where you're at or not. The same thing with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, because Wi-Fi and Bluetooth do give away your location. So again, you can control what apps access Wi-Fi and Bluetooth on your device. And also, when you share a photo, you get to control that now using the app location or the location app. Here's another big thing that Apple likes, and I think there's some really great possibilities here. And what they're saying is when you go to a website, sign in with Apple. A lot of times now when we go to a website, they say you can sign in with Google. Well, guess what? Now we're on sign in with Apple. And you're all set. No filling out of the forms, nothing like that, because your Apple ID, etc., is used to sign you in. And Apple does not track or profile you when you sign in with Apple to a website. Sign in with Apple also gives you the ability to hide your email. And you can have Apple create a unique email that isn't really yours, but anytime anybody emails to that, it forwards to your real email address. And Apple's big now on two-factor authentication, which I think is, a good thing. You need to protect yourself with two-factor authentication. And it does it automatically with Apple. To sign in with Apple works everywhere, all right? On all Apple devices, as well as on the web and Androids and using Windows. So you're going to see that, and you might want to use it. It makes it easier, and it can also take the place of a password manager. Now, Memoji, is that how you say that? I'm not sure. But anyway, Apple has added some new characters and what have you, and you can do it with everybody or just your contacts or not at all. Sharing your name and your photo. Memoji generates a sticker, and the sticker can be a human being sticker or an animal sticker, and a range of emotions. I'm going to show you some pictures in a second of the different things that you can do with this Memoji. Also, with messages, iMessages, Apple changed the way you find a message that you're looking for. And you can see recent messages, people, photos, links, and locations when you go to do an iMessage. And if you type in the search bar, messages categorizes the results and highlights matching terms. That can be handy, especially when you're looking for an iMessage that may have happened in the recent past. They also improved the details pane, so it links different things together when you're doing messages. Now, this Memoji, there's 30 new hairstyles, 15 new pieces of headwear. There's eyeglasses, braces, the animal characters. Apple added the mouse, the octopus, and the cow. And all of these new features will work on anything with iPhone 6S or later, all the way up to the 11 Pro. And here's a look at some of the faces. And you can do piercings, hats, hairstyles. And here's a look at 3 different presentations on an iPhone, where you can do the different hairstyles. You can do the different skin tones. You can also add things like over on the right-hand side of a heart, sticking your tongue out, whatever. All of these things have now become available on both iPhone and iPad. And that is my presentation on iOS 13. I realize I didn't cover even a fraction of the 200 different changes that come up. I plan on doing more iOS 13 presentations in the future when I, in fact, have the time to get more familiar with them. If anybody has a question that I can answer, please feel free to email me at Jere Minich at apcug.org.